Welcome to the Sideline. I'm Andy Katz. Well, this is going to be a home for a lot of original content in college sports and beyond. Now, of course, you're going to get a lot of that similar content that I produce for NCAA platforms, Big Ten Network, and other places. But I needed a home for a lot of those interviews with the newsmakers in this space. So where are you going to find it? Right here at the Sideline. Let's get to it. All right, welcome everyone to a preseason chat here at the end of the summer. I'm Andy Katz, pleased to be joined by Nate Oats, head coach of the University of Alabama. And Nate, let us start with, I don't know, was it Navy SEAL-like? What do we have going here to get the guys ready in, I don't know if it was swampland? Where were they? And what happened?
You're talking about the team retreat last weekend.
Yes, team retreat.
We've been doing it since Buffalo, but we found a pretty cool spot to do it down here. So it's Soggy Bottom Lodge. It's like a hunting camp. Like it's got a cabin big enough to put the whole team, all the staff in one place. And then it's got enough, I don't know, a couple thousand acres out there to got duck ponds and other muddy areas to make them run through, make them real uncomfortable. So we see a few deer out there. We don't do any hunting, but
wait a minute, I'm a little worried about mosquitoes and ticks. Did you get eaten up or no?
I never had any issue. Move fast enough, they stay away from you, I guess. I don't know. They wear the camouflage pants. I think they get some bug spray if you need it. I've never had any issue. I don't even use the bug spray. So, and I'm out there with them the whole time. So it was a good time.
Did you do, how often did you do the physical work?
I participate in everything. Now, the deal is the team drafts up two different teams and the coaching staff's another team. So the coaching staff has a few more players than half the team. So, some of the things, pick your best four, I'm usually not in the best four for any running activities at my age. So I'll do the canoe one. But we all do like a 3-mile race the last day I did that. I think there was 28 people ran it. We score it like cross country. I think that one we have to different teams. I think there was 5 different teams. Our team lost it by 1 point. I finished 21st at 28, so not the greatest, but I do think I beat one player. We won't mention who that one player is. We'll have to get him in a little better shape. But yeah, I'm out there. I'm in everything. I think I go in the mud. I go in the mud. I just don't do. I'm just not the one. I'm not winning any sprints against any players. So if the staff's trying to win, they're not gonna. Now we got some GAs that are on the staff side that they came through for us a little bit.
I'll tell you this. One year I was doing a draft story on Blake Griffin, and he was working out with guy that ended up being like the Memphis strength guy. He's like the stealth guy. I'm drawing a blank on his name. We're out in San Francisco, and he said, if you want to do this story on Blake Griffin getting ready for the NBA draft, you have to participate in the workout. So I said, okay. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. So we were in San Francisco. We had to do sand hills with a sandbag. There were tires, all that stuff. And I just remember the next day, I couldn't even stand. My
Aren't
legs.
You a marathon? Don't you run races, marathon stuff?
Yes, but that's different. Like that kind of like running uphill with like medicine balls and sandbags, like the quads and the groin.
Yeah. You feel sore in places you didn't even know there were muscles.
Yes.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I just didn't have to do as many reps as Griffin, but I had to actually do what he did. I just didn't do the same
So
number
they
of
make
reps.
him do 10 and you just do 1 or 2 or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was still very difficult. But the bottom line, it's a good bonding thing. It shows you're capable. And this is a new group. So what did you get out of this? Because you guys have been so tight and locked in for the last couple of years, even though you had a couple of different pieces that have changed. What's the greatest value in what you guys have done?
I do feel like, so we go down there. It's like 3 days, 2 nights. It's less than 48 hours. We got down there Sunday afternoon and left Tuesday morning, like mid to late morning. So but I do feel like called those 48 hours, like you can get the group a lot closer than shoot, maybe take 3, 4 months, maybe not ever. I mean, you kind of put guys in uncomfortable situations together and they got to figure stuff out. And so I think the retreat helps with some chemistry, just getting connected, guys hanging out. They're in the same, staying in the same place for 2 nights. They get to hang out with each other the whole time. So I think that's a good piece of it. I like our group. I think they're a lot of good kids. We're not going to be ranked preseason top five like we've been. We lost first team All American in Mark Sears, who's been great for this program. So we've got some scoring to replace, but we've got pieces, and I think if we can get them connected and on the same page and playing hard together, like we've got a chance to be pretty good again.
I feel like every coach is still figuring out at this level what's the right mix. Is it elite transfers, All American freshmen coming in, returnees, international, and you've had the benefit of having a couple of returnees each year, which has been that constant. You've had the one and done, top five kind of pick in Brandon Miller. You've had the high profile transfer. So how much are you still trying to figure out what's the right roster grouping in this era?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard coaches say, I'm not taking any high school guys, or I'm only taking 1 to 2 high school guys. I think with us, I'm not going to put a limit on the number of high school guys we're going to take because we were the number one team in the country 3 seasons ago when the transfers were getting big and we started 3 freshmen. So to me, it's more if the freshman is capable of playing right away and helping you win, like go get them. Or if it's a development guy, and everybody's fully on board with it, it's a development situation, then it's got to be one of those two though to take a freshman. And then, I now with the rev share and the NIL and all everything going on, you got to manage a budget too. So you don't want to overpay, and some of the freshmen that I feel like are, they could help you, but someone get an agent, they want too much money. They're not, if you got a budget, you got to figure out you can't spend it all on 3 or 4 freshmen because you got to leave spots open. You got to leave some money open for the portal guys because you never know what's going to happen. We've had a good number of returners every year, and we want to keep doing that. This year, I think it's about a third, and a third. I think we end up with 14 guys on the roster, and I think it's 4 freshmen, 5 returners, and 5 transfers. So it's right there about even with all of them. And I think that's probably about the right mix. But again, year to year, it may change. Maybe we get more guys to return. Maybe we found a few more freshmen that we thought could really compete, and you need less transfers. So I think the transfers kind of fill in the holes you have after you figure out what freshmen you were able to get that you really liked and what guys you can get to return.
So you've had a go-to, guy the last couple of years, who you could count on, late game situation, make a big shot, go to him. Who could that person be this season?
LeBaron's obviously super talented. He came back, would have got drafted, would have been, late first, early second, or whatever it was. He decided to come back, which is great for us. Hopefully, he can play his way up in the lottery. So he's obviously at the top. I think he can, but he's also one of your guys that can create for some other guys that can make a shot. So, I think Trelly Reitzel's made big shots here in the past, and he's coming off a Achilles, but hopefully he's ready to go to hopefully game one, but if not, then pretty quick into the year. Houston Millette It's a transfer from Pepperdine that we redshirted last year to get his knees right. He's looking pretty good. He's definitely an option we've got. And then I think Holloway made made some big shots. So, they're Mark Scherzer is first team All-American. Before him, we had Brandon Miller. We've had some guys like that. I think somebody will emerge, or it might be one of those deals where game to game, you put the ball in, whoever it is, LeBaron's hands, and he makes the right read and finds somebody to make an open shot. So, but we will have shooting, that's for sure. We got a lot of shooting out there.
Um, Normally, coaches that know they're sort of like in this situation, maybe the non-conference, you lead into the SEC, you don't go overboard because you don't know, exactly what you have yet. You've never been that guy. If you can play great games, you're playing great games, and that's the schedule you got. Why do you subscribe to that philosophy?
I mean, I think part of it goes back to when I was a high school coach. In high school, everybody makes the state tournament. Doesn't matter what your record is, 20-0, 0-20, and you try to win the state tournament. And, we made 5 Final Fours when I was in high school, won a state championship. I felt like the better we played, the better competition we played. We started going out of state, played Indiana, Illinois, or wherever we could get good teams. I felt we were better equipped to win come postseason play. It's not quite the same in college. You've got to make play your way into the NCAA tournament, but everybody makes the conference tournament. When I was at Buffalo, it kind of was similar because that's a one bid league. There's only been one bid out of the MAC in 25 years. So come conference tournament time, everybody's essentially now it would help to get a top 4 seed, more buys and all that, but you're essentially getting into a tournament where whoever wins it goes to the NCAA tournament. That's what everybody kind of judges your year on. So to me, it was always let's play best teams we can to get us ready to be the best team that we can be. And we've got a pretty good conference tournament winning percentage from our days at Buffalo and Alabama. Like we've won 5 out of the, how many have there been? 10. We've won 5 out of 10 conference shoot 9 because we didn't have one. I don't know that we were won it in the COVID year, but they didn't have one. So we won 5 out of the 9. So it gives you a pretty good winning percentage. And I think playing tough teams early exposes what you need to work on a lot better, and you get it fixed, and then you're ready to go come conference play, and then you can be peaking when you need to peak. So, yeah, I mean, I shouldn't say never. It is very unlikely that we would ever go undefeated in non-conference play because of the schedule that we put ourselves through. But I'm okay taking some losses. You see some of the teams go undefeated in non-conference or one loss, and next thing you know, they can't figure out how to get a conference win. Well, they really haven't learned who they are, what they need to work on until they hit conference play. And I would rather know who we are, what we need to work on, get it fixed, go through a lot of adversity in non-conference, and come out of it ready to play come January, February, March.
How would you describe what that SEC grind was like last year?
I mean, we were supposed to be one of the best teams in the country, and we we had some games in the SEC, and teams we were not 1 seed in the SEC tournament. I mean, Florida and wins the whole thing. Auburn's in the Final Four. We're in the Elite Eight with Tennessee. I mean, we had half the Elite Eight teams, half the Final Four teams had a championship, and that's not counting Kentucky or Arkansas, or I mean, go down the list of good teams in the SEC. I mean, we lost at home to Ole Miss. I mean, Coach Beard's coached a national championship game before. So the level of coaching, the level of players, the level of basketball that was played in the last year's, I think it was the best. I mean, you guys can judge it. You're the reporters, but to me, it was the best single season conference in the history of college basketball. I mean, 14 out of 16 teams go to the NCAA tournament. It was it's tough. It's a grind. There's no easy games. Every night it's just back to back to back. And So the one thing is they put a bye date in last year, so you at least got one bye where you didn't have to play a top 25 team one time there in the course of conference play.
So I was down there last year. I know they were doing construction. What's the latest on the facility update, which really was sort of I can't remember if it happened pre-Final Four, post-Final Four, but certainly it's all part of this last couple of years in the total positive upward trajectory of this program.
Yeah, it's my car's parked in the parking lot right next, attached to the other end of this building is the practice facility going up. I think it's going to be great. I'm super fired up every day. I pull in the parking lot and I see there's more and more being done. I would think the whole thing would be enclosed with the exterior walls up within the next month. But it's supposed to be done by the time our team, like this year, where we're at, it's great, but we're where we've been the whole time. And then next year, come June, when next year's team shows up in June, we'll be in the new building. If everything stays on track, I think they're ahead of schedule. So it looks great. I'm fired up. You'll have to come down here next summer, check it out. Check it out again.
All right, last couple things. First off, Coach's Challenge, new this year. How do you anticipate to use it?
Yeah, I mean, I've been one to save my timeouts for late in the game. Um, we had a coach clinic here on Monday. We had a bunch of NBA guys in here. I've spent some time with a few NBA guys who've had, analytically, the analytics people tell you a possession's a possession. Like, if it's the right time to challenge, you challenge the first play of the game. I'm an analytics guy, so that resonates on some level, but you screw up the first play of the game, you got time to make up for it. To me, there's probably a reason they've been able to go to the monitor in the last 2 minutes of games, because those plays seem to resonate a lot bigger with everyone, including the players, coaches, and everybody. So I think one is we got to get our film guy really good. He better give me a correct answer real fast on the bench. Do we challenge or not? Because I'm probably going to want to challenge like 20 calls. But I mean, unless it's an egregious one early, my gut is I'm probably going to be saving it for something that's later in the game. That's kind of a big momentum shifting play possibly. And the one thing is you don't want to never use it all game and lose a game by one possession, saving it when you should have used it midway through the first half or the second half either. So there's going to definitely be some talk. The good thing I've got over here is we've got multiple NBA assistants that are on staff. I just hired Chris Fleming. He's been in the NBA for 10 years. Brian Adams has been in the NBA, I think, like 16 years. So we've got multiple NBA assistants that have done this. Brian was head coach of the G League, so they've had it there. So I've got some guys on the bench that have some experience with this, so they can hopefully help me out with it a little bit.
Last two things. These won't happen, but they're on the docket at some point, maybe. Where do you stand on quarters or halves?
I'd be more for quarters. I think everybody else, I think men's college basketball is the only place
That is correct.
in the world that's not playing by quarters. So
Correct.
What are we still doing? Like, the games played high school, Europe, FIBA, NBA, women's, like, why are we still the only ones doing it? Now, not just because everybody does it, that's not a good reason to necessarily do it, but it gives a reset on the fouls for one. So you don't just live in the bonus all game. People aren't coming to just watch a free throw contest. And some of these college games you might be in a bonus 4 minutes into the half. Well, for 16 minutes, you're in the bonus. So the quarters, the bonus can reset. There's more situational type basketball where some IQ comes into play, trying to play the 2-for-1 at the end of the quarters, like getting the proper shots. I think there's a little bit more coaching in it, and it kind of matches what everybody else is doing in basketball. But I think for a multitude of reasons, we should go to quarters. I don't know if they got to get some the rules committee and all that. They're redoing the committees with the new House settlement and the Power Four and all that stuff going on. So maybe when they get that settled, maybe they'll put me on a rules committee and we get something changed. We'll see.
Well, then the last one is advance the ball. Again, not in men's college basketball. Where do you stand on that?
I'm for it. I like watching the NBA. I think it gives teams a late game. I mean, look, we're trying to compete. We all, we're coaching a team, but it is an entertainment business. It makes the game more entertaining, in my opinion, when you can advance the ball to give yourself a chance to score a late game off a timeout. 3 seconds to go. It's really hard to score full court, but you can advance the ball, get in the front court, give yourself 3 seconds, drop something. It also, I think, plays to being prepared as a coach, which anything to me that plays into, the more prepared teams, prepared coaches get a better chance to win. I'm all for it.
All right. I will get down there at some point and check this, the new digs out. As always, pleasure, Nate. Appreciate you. And Alabama, yet again, going to be a contender.
When's your next marathon, Andy?
I don't know if I'm going to do another full. I got another half right before the season, late October.
Where at? Up north or down?
I'll do it in Rhode Island.
No snow? Late November?
No, late October.
Oh, late
before the
October.
season.
There shouldn't be snow then.
No,
that'll be good.
maybe a little crisp.
Perfect
No,
running
but-
weather.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. Well,
All right,
hopefully
thanks,
we'll see you
Nate.
down here this year. Thanks, Andy.
Okay.
Thanks for watching and listening, everyone. And as always, you can follow all our social media content at the Sideline with a K. Our content appears on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and of course, YouTube, TikTok, X, and Instagram. Check out all the content at the Sideline with a K.